Hello. Hi, guys. Good evening. It's Tuesday, February the 4th. It's been a long couple of days. This is going to be a live stream, and it's an arts and craft uh, show. We will be doing some crafting. I'm going to be working with some clay today. And if you're watching this at a later time, you can zip through. If anything gets boring, you can zip through and get to the better parts. I will be interacting with the live chat, and that's how we work it. That's how we do it. They talk to me and tell me what to do, and I tell them what I'm doing. And if you have any questions, you can leave a comment below, and I'll get back with you. I usually do on all my comments. And in the meantime, I'm waiting for some people to come into my room. And let's see if I can find me. There I am. It says there's two watching. All right. Deborah's here and Kim's here. Hi, guys. Good, good, good. Welcome, welcome. So I feel like I've been gone for a month. When I missed one day, it was a long weekend. I guess. So how are you guys doing? How y'all doing? I've got my coffee, and I do have a little bit of juice for backup. I do still have a cold, but I'm on better medicine. And hi, Terry. So hopefully my medicine will keep me from coughing. I'm hoping it will. I'm thinking that it will. So other than clearing my throat or clearing my voice, I'm doing really good today. So I did get in to see the doctor, and she gave me some really good medicine to help me with my cough, which is what I needed all along. I have a wonderful doctor, I really do. I love hers. So, fighting a toothache. Oh no. Oops, oops, oopsie. I tell you, I have two. I have a sensitive tooth, and it's there's three teeth, and I can't decide which one's the sensitive one. It's either the one in the middle or the one on either side of it. And they keep telling me that it's not the one in the middle because that was a root canal. But something is crossing over. So I keep brushing my gums down, trying to brush them down. And I use that Sensodyne toothpaste. Do you use Sensodyne toothpaste, Kim? That really does help if it's nerve related. It really does help. So hi, greetings. We're going to work with some clay today. Look what I have. This is real clay, girls. This is the real McCoy. I'm not going to be in my pottery studio in the garage tonight, but it's almost ready. It really is ready out there. We got the camera set up and the wired out there, and I think it's a go, but I haven't practiced it yet. And so I got into some of my clay today and warmed it up and softened it up some so I could work with a little bit tonight. And I thought, well, we'll just use the rolling pin tonight, and I can talk to you about a little bit about clay and stuff. Yes, I do too, Kim. I use Sensodyne. That's all I use now. Yep. And I try to stick with the name brand and not a off brand, a generic brand. And I try to brush my gums down so that my roots don't be exposed. I'm a terrible brusher. I brush hard. So I hope that gets to be feeling better, Kim. I understand, but don't wait too long before you get into the doctor. They got to fix it. So I'm going to wait a few minutes to get some people in. I am a few minutes early, so I think I'll go over my Happy Mail, and then we'll get into the clay. And I have a timer in the garage. I need to go get my timer. And I thought that I would quit like at 8 o'clock and do, or 8:30, and do a doggy tag. Hi, Joyce. Hi, Joyce. How are you? So, in the meantime, let me get my Happy Mail out. Not that I have to show it off, but I want to show it off. Does that count? I don't have to, but I want to. Get my chair set up here. But we are going to play with clay tonight. I've postponed it long enough. Okay, Kim. Okay, Kim. Well, you can catch it on the replay. And I'm just going to do some hand building tonight and talk about a little bit what I know about clay and pottery. Just want to talk a little bit about it. And in the meantime, let's see what we got here. I got a box of stuff. This came from my good friend Santa Malaya from Finland. She comes in here, Santa. Her last name, or her first name is Santa, Sanna. And she does have a stream. Hi, Joan. She does stream, and she sent me some Happy Mail. And she does come into my show sometimes. And she's a quiet girl, a quiet little girl. Yeah, we got Happy Mail. And she sent me 2 little cards that she made. And they've got really cute little brads on them. Look at those little brads. The backs are right there. But aren't these cute? And she makes everything by hand. And this is done on a playing card of some sort. And this was just done on a piece of cardstock. So she sent me those, and she sent me a whole bunch of little tidbits of die cuts, and there's an airplane. Look at that airplane punched out, and then it's on a piece of printed paper. That is so cute. Look at that. And an owl. Oh, I like the little owl. So thank you, Santa. If you come in tonight or see this a little bit later, thank you, honey. I got something on the mail going back to you. We exchange Happy Mail. And she's got these cute little things that I don't know if they're die cuts, or I think she colors them. I think it's something she colored. I think she decorated it. But they're also little cute, little girl, little fairy watering can. I love these little butterflies. There's a doggy. He might go in the doggy. I'll leave him out for the dog tag. See what else I can find for the dog tag. Who are we going to do tonight? Is it a Dutch hound? Is he going to be a Dutch hound? We could put, I've got anchors and sail ships and another little dog. Maybe we can make him a nautical dog tonight and use some of these little things. It might just be right up our alley tonight, girls. So she sent a whole bunch of cute little ephemera things. So I think we might have to leave some of these out for the doggy tag. And these other cards, these ACT cards, I'll put them in my ACT with my other ACTs. But those are so cute. I love this one. It's got, it's like a painty paper on the background of it. It feels good. So those are really, really cute. So thank you, Sana. Thank you, thank you. So I'm going to leave these right over here for the doggy tag. So don't let me forget. Hi, Janet. Hi, Sue. Hi, Colleen. How you guys doing? Hi, everybody. Opening up some Happy Mail. Then I got two wonderful, beautiful cards. And this is from my good friend Cheryl that comes in here. Uh, Cheryl John. She wrote me two lovely little love letters here. And one is for me for being a friend. And then one was for me to feel better soon. And I am feeling better. Hi, Sharon. I did get to see the doctor yesterday. Woohoo! Thanks to Joe. I have to tell you about it. Joe had an appointment, and his appointment was a well visit appointment. And I called last week 3 times trying to get in to see her, and they wouldn't let me in. So he goes in just to get his prescriptions refilled. And he said, "Well, Beth has been trying to get in to see you, but there's not been anything available. She's really sick," to the doctor. And so she says, "Well, let me see what I can do. I might be able to tweak something here." Oh gosh. I hope so. Well, anyway, I was there in the office within a half hour, and I got to see my doctor, and she gave me the cough syrup that I needed from the very day one. So anyway, thank you, Cheryl, for my get well card. I am getting well. I do have a squeaky voice, but I'm not coughing. I'm not coughing. My lungs are clear. I'm breathing clear. My sinuses are not dripping. Nothing. So it's a little dry, but that's because I'm taking the cough syrup and it has a cough suppressant in it that helps the cough to suppress the coughing. So I have a little dry voice. So thank you guys for all your get well prayers and thoughts that you did online. I really appreciate all of them. I did. So the last bit of good of happy mail is from Colleen. So everybody, you all need to thank Colleen for sending me some happy mail because you all going to get to do some of it too. It's for all of us. I must sound better, but not to my ears. My ears, I feel like I got a real scratchy voice, rusky voice. Yes, thank you, Colleen. I got a free coupon book, or an ad book. It's a cruise book from the Viking, and there's all kinds of river cute pictures in here. So if you want to subscribe to a free catalog to the Viking cruise, you can go to Viking.com and get a free magazine. But Colleen sent Joe some happy mail, and she sent this to Joe because it had an owl on the front of it, and he was doing his wonderful owl calls. Yes, I'm not all better. I am just better. That's right, Joan. You're correct. And then she sent Joe an eagle card because we've been talking about the eagles. And these are two postcards. Ooh, looky there. Here's a cougar. I think it's a cougar. Mountain lion. Close enough. That's 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 close enough to his Kevin cat. Uh-huh. And then here's an eagle. And we've been talking about the eagles, and I think the eagles are trying to have another egg. So we're on the up and up in the eagle department. I'll keep you posted. Then she sent me some more pretty little note cards, and she wrapped them all up in pretty string. And they're art cards. Somebody painted them. So these cards are beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love them, Colleen. Thank you. And this was I got to save the front of the box. It was all decorated, so I saved the front of the box. So I like that. I'll use that in my on my art page journal. Hi, everybody coming in. Hi, Deb. Who else? Cheryl's here. Cheryl, I showed your Happy Mail cards. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl, honey. These are beautiful. And I'm going to repurpose them and use them on an art page. Hello, hello, hello. I'm on good cough syrup now. I am. I've been cleaning house today. Can you believe it? Hi, Mary. I hear the kitty. I got to go let the kitty in. Joe, Abby, do you need to go out? I'll be right back. Just a moment. Here, look at that while I'm gone. I hear the kitty cat. Where is she? Where is she? She's already in, so she's okay. She's good to go. Anyway, Colleen, she sent me a little beginner kit. Look at this. I haven't even opened it yet. Thank you, thank you. I love this, and I need a new sponge. Mine is been used so much, and she's got some finger cots in here, which are the leather kind, and I don't have the leather kind, so I'm anxious to try those out. I think they'll be a lot better than the rubbery ones that I've been using. And some needles. I got some new needles, and I like it that there's 2 different sizes in there. And then there's a little key chain for it. I wonder what that's for. I'll have to check that out. And it's got a little pin. I'll have to check it out. Let's see what we got here. A nice sponge. But there's a little tiny key ring here, or chain, with a pin. I'm going to stick it in there for a minute. And then this is a needle device. It holds the needle, and when you're storing the needle goes in the handle. And when you're using the needle, you flip it around backwards, and then you put this back in the hole, and this is like a cork, and it tightens the needle for you to use. So this is really cool to have. I've been wanting one of these for a long time. So this is absolutely awesome, Colleen. Thank you. I don't have this. So I really, really, really thank you a whole lot. I love it. So the cork, it's a wooden cork, and it comes out, and then you turn your needle around, and you can store your needle inside the handle and secure the cork again until you're ready to use it again. Isn't that awesome? This is really, really a treat. Thank you, thank you. And I don't have the leather cots. These are better than the rubber ones that I have, because the rubber ones, the needle will go through it, and I don't think they'll go through this one. These, I think it'll be a lot harder to go through these. So thank you so much for these. And if you have any old leather gloves, from winter time and stuff, I used to, but I got rid of all my old gloves and hats and scarves because I don't need them anymore. But if I had an old pair of leather gloves, I would have cut the tips of them off. So they're a little long, but I think I can. No, they're not. I've got my finger all the way in there, so I can I can use these and hold my work without hurting my fingers. So these are good, and these are they hug my fingers closer than the rubber ones that I have, so I can get closer to my work. I like that. I like that feature. So thank you so much. And I'm not sure what the little this one is to go on, but I'm sure I'll figure something out, Cheryl, or I mean, Colleen. uh, I bet you it goes on the end of the handle, or I don't know. I'll think of something to use it for. I've seen these little things. I've got some of these things. Oh, if I put this around the needle or around the holder, I can probably like hang it up or something. I've got one of these things on my phone too, something like that, and that way I can pin my uh, so it won't fall off. That's what it's for. So it's from Alex Press. Okay. Thank you, Colleen. I really love it. I really love it. It is awesome. Awesome, I'm telling you. And if I didn't have my felting all put away, I've got a little basket left of odds and ends things I'm putting in it left on my table. So thank you so much. I love this. I love it. I really do. So this will go in my felting basket. Okay. Then that's not all. There's more. There's more. She sent me some napkins. Pretty napkins. I don't think I've seen this one. I don't remember if I do. And then inside the napkin is some punched out things. Fun things. Maybe I can use some of this with the doggy tags. Hmm. Sounds like a good idea. I'm gonna put them over here. And it smells so good. I don't know what you put in it, but it smells good, Colleen. What flavor is it? Is it a flavor? So, some little confetti there. I know it. Isn't that cute? She made the card. Cheryl, you made this card, didn't you? With the bingo card, or was it already a kit? Did you get it from Spanky? It is so cute. No, you handmade it. That was awesome. Perfect. But I'm going to make an art page with both of these uh, before I put them. They're not going away. They're going to go on an art page. Miss Myers. Okay, everybody loves saying hello. So anyway, I will use this on an art page too from Colleen. And then she sent me some Valentine stuff. We're going to have to do a Valentine doggy. Maybe we'll use one of these tonight. Ooh, Colleen. Ooh la la. And some cute napkins. Paper clips. Aren't those cute? Those are so cute. Thank you. I really love those. And some gears. I don't have any gears. I don't have any gears. So this is good. What was it I was looking at the other day that I wanted a gear? Thought it would look good to have a gear. Can't remember now what I was doing. And she sent me a couple little homemade envelopes that are homemade, and they got little cutesy things inside, all kinds of little tags and fairies, and they're stamp size, so I'll get to use them. Those are really cute. I love them. I love those. I like all of them. And then this is another little envelope she made. I know she made these. I know she made them. Cute, cute, cute. And this one holds down with the tennis shoe. And then you open it up, and there's some more of these little cards. Bunch of them. Cute. Those will be cute. I can do something with those. So very, very nice. Thank you for those. And she gave me some lettering. We're going to do the D. The D. Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome, Elizabeth. We haven't started anything important. We're just opening up some happy mail, and then we're going to get into a little bit of clay business. So, welcome, Elizabeth. Enjoy the show. We do all kinds of things in here. We're we're multi mixed media, as Joe says, multimedia, and a pretty little doily. I'll get to use that too. And another napkin with some goodies inside. Colleen, you really outdid yourself, sweetheart. This is so cute. Look what Colleen made. This is a cluster, and it's got a bouquet of roses and some a paper rose on there, and a bead. Look at this bead. It's a bead with a flower in it. Isn't that just the cutest thing? So that's so pretty. Okay, Kim. We'll see you later, honey. Thanks for coming in. Glad to have you for a few minutes. Yes, Deb, this would be perfect for the front of a journal. It would be. So I tucked it inside this napkin. And this other little pretty napkin, look how pretty that is. Oh, everything in here was just so cute. And she's got another little envelope. And this is a homemade envelope out of some book text with a little girl sticker on the front of it. And some more of those little cards. I mean, they are so cute. There's a whole bunch of them. Little fairy cards. So I love them, and I will be doing some kind of a project with them. Don't know what yet, but I will be. So thank you so much, Colleen. I can't say it enough. And she sent me a cow and a pig and a chicken. Woohoo! And I can color them. And then she sent me a little book. It just goes on and on, guys. I'm telling you. I'm not even down to the bottom yet. So much goody, goody, goody. You outdid yourself. And in here, it's kind of a little flow journal. And it's a journal book. It's not a flow journal. It's just a journal book because everything's stapled in. And then there's some tip ins. Oh, you're doing this so well, Colleen. You put this together wonderfully. And it smells so good. Oh gosh, it smells like, it's wonderful. I don't know what it smells like. An Avon. It's so pretty. And look here what she did with her little card. She used to make little tuck spots. How cute is this? How cute, cute, cute is this? Look at all this. So I will be using this, and I have intentions of leaving this on my desk so that I can use a little bit of it every day and put little journals in them. And she made me a little journal card in the back. How cute is that? And it's a a pick 8 or a pick 10. It's got Gelatos, charms. It's got a charm, gesso, beads, paint, stickers, a pussycat, fabric scrap, and a pencil shaving. And it's all on there. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? And some tickets in the back. So I love this. This is staying on the desk. This is going to stay on the desk, and I will be putting some things in it. And then another envelope, a handmade envelope, or an altered envelope, probably junk mail, with a little bookie inside. And this is a little pamphlet inside the envelope that goes together, and it's got buttons. It's got ephemera all over through it. It's all inked up. It's got a tuck spot and a pocket inside. This is so cute. And then a back page. So this is so cute. I don't know what to say. I am just flabbergasted. This is really, really cute. And I want to use it, and I want to add to it. You did really nice, Colleen. This is really nice, and you've stamped on it and everything. It looks so nice. It's color coordinated. And then she sent me another little cluster, and this one's on a paper clip to be used on the top of something. I'm going to put it right there. Somehow. There. Isn't that cute? Cute, cute, cute. There's more. Here's another little card that she made, and it looks like it's the negative of a punch with some pretty paper on the back side, or some scrapbook paper on the back. How cute is that? That is a cute way to use your negatives. And I think these were in that napkin I had a minute ago, all the little punch outs. And then she sent me some buttons. And these buttons, yeah, they're buttons. They got 2 holes in them. So I get to use them on, I can put some of these on my fabric journal. Oh my gosh. These would look so cute on the fabric journal. That is going to be so cute. I will use these. Thank you so much, Colleen. And another little tag that says, take care. Thank you so much. And then last but not least, she sent me some music paper. And look at this one. This one's hand written. It looks like it's in calligraphy writing. Isn't that awesome? It's like he wrote it out just for me. Thank you so much. That is so awesome. These will make beautiful journal pages. Wow. Thank you so much. So I really do appreciate every little tidbit. And I'm going to take some of this out to use maybe for the doggy tag. Something for the doggy tag. That would be cute on the background too. So that's what we're going to do. But we're going to play with clay first. We've been putting off the clay long enough. So no more delays. It's clay time. We got clay, girls. We got clay. So, yeah. So, okay, let me catch up on chat here. Well done, Colleen. Well done. Good. And thank her because we're going to get to use a lot of that stuff for all of us. So that's awesome, and that's great that we get to have goodies to play with, extra goodies. Great. And you know what? It is fun, Colleen, to put boxes together for people. It is fun. And you know they're going to get a tickle spot out of it when they pull it out. So great. Oh, anyway, you guys are wonderful, and I do appreciate it very, very much. So, hello, everybody that's come into the room. I know there's 23 of you all in here. I have not said 23 hellos yet, but consider them all helloed now. Catch me up. Hello, hello, hello. So, we are going to work with some clay. Oh, there's my needles. I need to put them away so I won't lose them. We are going to be working with clay, and this is real earth and clay. Clay comes in different kinds. You've got lots of different kinds of clay, and there's stuff that they add to the clay, and then there's natural stuff that's already in the clay. But when they get the clay from the ground, no, I'm not in the garage tonight. I brought my clay in from the garage, and this is clay. This is it. But this comes from the earth, and of course, it's not this smooth when you get it out of the ground. But they dig it up, and they take and they process the clay, and in different areas of the world, we get different types of clay. I know, like in Georgia, you got a lot in North and South Carolina. They have a lot of red clay, and they get it out of the mountains and the ground. But the clay, it's basically dirt, but it's been watered down and sieved through, and and it settles. It settles in different layers, and you've seen that in the ground. It's like when you see a thank you, Colleen. And you've seen things settled in the ground, geology, when they look for layers, when they look back and try to age something, and they can see a layer of clay, a layer of sand, a layer of dirt, a layer of peat, and a layer of vegetation, a layer of coal, a layer of gold. These things are in the ground. Well, so is clay. And the clay has been used for years and years and years. Back in primitive time, they could find the clay off of the soil, off the top ground, and then they learned how to make pots and vessels out of the clay. So that's how clay is found in the ground. And there's different types of clay and different levels of clay. Now, this is a buff clay that I like and I buy, and this is it's a low firing clay, and it's a fine clay. It's real smooth, and it's real soft when worked up and worked out right. And there's another clay called porcelain, and it's finer than this, and that's where you get the fine china and your glass and your dishes from. And your porcelain is also what they use when they pour it in a mold, and they make a little figurine or something out of it. That is porcelain clay, and it's finer. It's a finer, thinner, low grit. They strain it to the point of there's absolutely no grit in it whatsoever, and that is the level of different clays. The lowest grit is porcelain, and then the next one is buff, and then you get into a medium clay, and then you get into your stoneware clay and your terracotta clays, and they're a thicker uh, a thicker grog. They call it a grog. Uh, uh, and it's just a matter of how much watered down it is. And then they dehydrate it again, and they get thicker clay or different stages of clay. But anyway, I'm not I'm not an expert at any of this. I am an amateur, and I've learned everything I've learned is off of YouTube videos and off of other people and books that I've read, and mostly videos that I've watched. And that's how I've learned about clays, and that's how I've learned about pottery. I've watched it as a kid, watched other people do pottery, and have enjoyed it, and was attracted to it, and wanted, everybody wanted to do pottery, and I reached a point in my life now that I'm able to do it, and I get to do it, and I am so honored to get to do it, and it's fun. So I can only teach you in a beginner's, uh, and in a beginner stage, because that's all that I am, is a beginner. I'm not an expert at any of it, but I do know enough to teach you what I know, and that's the main thing. So I've got this rubber mat down. It's kind of like a placemat. Um, it's something to do with the, like, at a auto shop type mat. But it's a good place to throw my clay down on, and I can work my clay without it sticking to my countertop. And it's good to have a surface to work on. This is just a make do surface for in the house. Outside, I have a marble top that I work on, and I can. It's stable. It's heavy. It doesn't move or shift. But today we're doing hand building, and when you get your clay, you order it and they come in 25-pound blocks about this tall and this size of a square, and then you take off of the big slab, you take you off some littler slabs to work with, and so I've learned how I can slice a thin slice off of it, and I've learned that I could do hand building with it, and I literally put it down on uh, a good surface that I can work on, and I use a rolling pin. This rolling pin is designated to clay only. I do not use it in the kitchen. So this is my play rolling pin. So anyway, you can buy rolling pins that have designs on them as well, and you can make marks on the tops of your surfaces. Um, there's lots of videos to watch, and you'll see a lot of these tools. Now, what I'm doing now is my clay is cold. It's cold. It's cold to touch, but it's moist, and I can feel it. And I'm stretching it and rolling it out to a certain thickness. And if out in the garage, if I was doing something particular, I could put two strips of wood down, and I can use a half inch or an inch or whatever size I wanted to make, how I want my thickness. And then the two sides, I would roll over it, and the wood would make my piece of clay exactly the thickness that I was asking for. But today, I don't need that, and I kind of know how much to roll. I'm going by experience. So anyway, I am working the clay, and it's very soft. It's smooth. It's cold. It's got water in it. And if your clay ever dries out, you don't have to worry about it ever going to waste, because this clay is from the earth, and it will never spoil. It might mold, it might mold, but it'll never spoil. And there's a trick to keeping your clay from molding, and the mold will grow in through it like cheese. The mold will grow inside of the clay, in veins, and it'll grow. But it won't hurt the clay. It may smell bad, but it won't hurt it, and it will burn up in the fire after you've cooked it. So you don't have to worry about mold. It won't ever spoil the clay, but it will get into the clay. And the prevention of that is to swab the insides of your bags. When you get your clay, you swab the inside of your bags with a little bit of Clorox bleach, and that'll prevent any mold from growing on your clay. I've had this clay for 7 years, and I haven't had any mold on me down here at all. When I had a pottery studio up home in my home back in Kentucky, I had a pottery studio, and I had some clay spoil on me down there. Well, it didn't spoil; it was just moldy, and I had to look it up, and I investigated because I didn't want the mold to be uh, something. If I breathe, I'd get sick with it or something like that. And it's not that kind of mold, but I did learn about how to prevent mold. And so I always, whenever I get clay out of the bag, I always swab it with some Clorox. And I've already done all of the clay bags that I brought down here. I've already swabbed them with Clorox, and it should prevent anything from growing. And so far, so good. So now that I've got my clay out and rolled out, it's at a pretty good thickness. Um, I I like to decorate my clay. You can see how thin this is, and this is thicker. See, this one's thicker than what I have out, so I need to roll it out a little bit more. Here's another one, and it's thin. It's a lot thinner, so I can roll it out a little bit more. Um, you can go as thin as you want, but yet it would be more fragile, you know. So from experience, I want at least this thick, at least this size, at at the least, and or bigger. And then sometimes you get a hold of a piece that's a little bit thicker, like this one, you know, it's okay. It's thick here and thin over here, so it's okay. Yes, this clay will be baked in the kiln, which is a pottery oven, not your kitchen oven. It has to be in the real hot ovens. And I showed a lot of these things. I made a picture of. These are all cookie cutters, um, things that I've used with a cookie cutter. This has got two cookie cutters. It's got the flower, and then I did the heart in the middle. So after you roll your clay out, you have a decision to put some kind of design on it and emboss the clay. So I'm gonna get into the baking here in a minute. So I found this thing, and this is a kitchen sink uh, mat that goes in the bottom of your sink, and to keep your dishes from hitting the hard surface. So I bought it for my clay. So all I have to do is lay it down with uh, and then I will roll my rolling pin over top of it. But I'm going to roll this out a few more times. Let me roll this out a few more times, and then we'll get into the embossing of the clay. I've got a bunch more clay, so we're going to be doing more here. So I can only do so much, on this piece. Now I get a little bit better. There's lots of ways to stretch your clay out. And another trick is to compress your clay after you've done it. after I've stretched it out, I'm moving the elements around in the clay. So by doing something like this, I'm compressing the clay to be tight after I've stretched it. And this prevents your clay from warpage. And an example of warpage would be like this. You see the warpage here? It's not level. This is called warpage. And that means it bowed a little bit after I baked it, right? It got hot and it bowed. Now it's okay. I don't mind the warpage on this particular piece, but there might be a time where I do mind. So if you know how to stop it, have you ever made a mask? Made a mask? No, I have never made a mask. Like a happy, sad face mask? A mask. Hmm. But this is called warpage here. So in order to prevent some of that warpage, I'm condensing the clay again after I've stretched it out. And this compacts the clay to be tighter to itself and to hug itself tighter. And there's a lot to be said about compacting. And you'll hear me talk about it again and again. I'll be talking about compacting the clay. We want the clay to be tight as it can be inside of each other so that there won't be any air, and then there won't be any warpage. And sometimes in a dish, in a bowl or a cup, if there's a little bit of warpage, it could crack and break. So this is called compacting the clay, and there's more than one way to do it. This is one way. And I'm just taking a simple straight edge tool and rubbing on top of it. And you can feel it being compressed together. You can feel it pressing it down. I'm not really making it any bigger. I'm not stretching it out any further. I'm not putting that much pressure. But later on, you'll understand more about this. It's nothing for you to worry about. I just want you to know that this is called compressing the clay. And you don't have to do it, but I did. Now I'm going to take this sink liner and I'm going to lay it down right here. And I'm going to take my roller and I'm pressing. I'm not really stretching the clay as much as I am pressing down so that this will sink into the clay to make the design. And it just takes a couple of times. This is embossing your clay and putting the design on it. It's one of my favorite things to do. So there we go there. Let's see what we got now. And looky here, you can see the print in the clay. You see it? So these are going to be your new designs. So what do we want to make first? I've got all kinds of cookie cutters. I told you I had tons of cookie cutters. And here's a few. These are all little ones, what I call my little ones. These are the littlest cookie cutters that I have. And we can do all little ones. Then I have another big bag over here of the big ones. So I'm just going to take a few out, just random. And this one's a foot. So I'll do the foot. So there I have a foot. These are cute for beachy things. Now, after I do this, I take and I put a hole in my ornaments. I'm calling them ornaments. And here's a bird. So I can cut a few of those out. It's just like making cookies. Okay, Lynn's Crafts. Okay, thank you, Cheryl. What does she like to do? Here's my hand. Just like baking cookies. Here's a teddy bear. And you can try to place a little flower on its belly. See, I got a flower on its belly. So that's something you can do too. You can see where you to place them. Of course, a famous heart. And there's an angel. But it's just like doing cookie dough. And before we get done with this, I've got a straw. One of those here, the straws that you use to stir your coffee with. And I use these to make a hole, and that way I can hang my hand up. And they just seem to be the right size of a hole. Now my clay, as it dries, it will shrink. My clay will shrink. So you have to allow shrinkage. And if you don't, your hole will become too small and you won't be able to use it. Oh, okay. She uses the Fimo clay, which is the clay polymer. Okay, the polymer clay, the colored clay. Yeah. And now, with that particular clay, you can bake that in the oven, in your kitchen oven. Technically, you should have your own crafting oven, a little toaster oven, because the Fimo clay and the polymer clays put off a scent that is toxic, and it really shouldn't be in the house. And I have a toaster oven on the back porch that I use for my polymer clay, and I cook it out there. And it's at a low temp, for like 15 minutes. This clay has to be baked in a kiln, a special oven, for like 6 hours at 1,000 degrees or 900 degrees. So your kitchen oven doesn't go that hot, of course. So that's why you have to do it. It's a special oven, a special firing for this type of clay. This is not your everyday craft room craft. This is a, I don't know what else to describe it. This is a craft of its own. Uh, so, But anyway, I have to sort of stick to my topics that I know about. And here's a flower. And I sort of have to stick to what I'm doing. There's so many avenues to go with clay. It's hard to uh, just talk about. I can't tell you about everything. I can only tell you about what I'm doing at this time. And and I can tell you that clay does shrink. It shrinks as it dries, and it also shrinks in the oven when you bake it. And the first baking uh, is called, it becomes a bisque after it's the terminology is bisque. It's what it turns into after you bake it one time. And then when it is bisque, you take it back out of the oven, and then you paint each piece with some type of glaze, and it's a special glaze that's made of glass. And this glaze is painted onto your bisque, and then you fire it again, and then it becomes a ceramic piece of art or dish. So what we have now is raw clay. It's raw clay, hasn't been used, and it's been rolled out into a sheet, a workable sheet, and um, we're making some items with our clay. And this is called, after it dries. After it dries, it'll be bone dry. Okay. Right now, it's almost leather hard, and it's just a description and a phase that the clay goes through in terms of wet, immalleable, and uh, leather hard. It dries out to leather hard, and then it dries out to be bone dry. Then after it's bone dry, you can bake it. You cannot bake it until then, because if you bake it too soon, it's got too much moisture in it, and it would explode. It'd be like a little explosion, and it would just be pulverized, because it's got so much water in it, and you're using such a hot oven, you see. So it's important to make sure you do the stages, use the stages, utilize your stages, and before you actually do the baking. And that's what I'm trying to teach you and to show you. I'm going to roll over top of my clay and make a different design on it. So I'm going to smooth this part out. I'm going to show you something else. I'm not really making it bigger. I'm just smoothing the top of it out. And now that I've got these ornaments, they're ready to be dried. Okay, so I usually take a box, and I use my grocery boxes, and I lay my pieces in here, and I try to flatten them a little bit as much as I can without deforming it. But I lay them in here. They've all got holes in them, and they're ready for the drying stage. So this will take a few days to dry out to become, these will actually take a few hours because they're so small before they become leather hard. And it will take just a few days, and then they'll be bone dry. And when I do a bowl or a bigger vessel, it takes anywhere from a week to 2 weeks for it to become bone dry. And so it doesn't matter if these stay bone dry for longer than a week. It won't spoil or anything. So I can leave these in here, and I'll let them dry until I get a full load up in my kiln. So I have to have several of these boxes full of things before I will load them into the oven. Yes, they would. Perfect for wind chimes. Perfect for wind chimes. But another way of decorating your clay is to use something like this. This is a doily. Well, no, this is not a doily. This is a plastic tablecloth that looks like a doily. It looks like lace, but it's plastic. My mother had this plastic tablecloth that was too big, so she cut it off. And I said, "Oh, Mom, I want the leftovers." So I love them to make it look like lace on my clay. And it's actually also how I make my sunflower or my sand dollars. That's the lace from one of these right here. The center flowers. That's the lace for the center of my sand dollar. So uh, this is one of my favorite things to do. So I'm rolling the lace down into the clay with my rolling pin to make the embossing shape. And I roll it on there pretty good to get a good marking. And then I peel it off, and there's my lace. And this is plastic. This is plastic, so it's washable if I need to wash it. But you can see it comes off fine. It's a little brown, but it doesn't. That's no big deal. So here's my lace on my clay, and it makes a wonderful design after it's baked. Uh, this is not This is not this one, but it's another pattern piece that I have that I use a lot, and it's on a little rubber sheet from the clay company. Hi, love you. Hi, lovely Malaya. Hi, honey. Hi, everybody that's come in late. I know there's a bunch of your work watching, but anyway, these are ornaments. These are what I call ornaments. They are made out of clay, and I'm showing you how I make some of the designs. This is a starfish that I made, and I used the lace design in the middle of it too. So I can do another one of these. Now I don't have a cookie cutter for this one, so all I need to get now is like um, a pointy tool, not necessarily an X-Acto knife. I'm not cutting anything. I'm I'm just scoring it. So you get a pointy tool and you go down into the clay to the mat and you trace this to make a starfish. And then we're going to lift it out here in just a minute. Just have to go real slow. An X-Acto knife would work, but we're not interested in cutting, through the mat. Uh, so I always use something like a pointy tool. You can use a nail, like a regular penny nail. You can find these clay tools came with my polymer clay. I use those. And these here are the tools I've been looking for months, and I mean months. These are my woodworking tools, and they're too sharp for my clay. I use this one. It's a hole punch for my clay. It doesn't come with the set. But here's my woodworking tool, so I can tell Mary, 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 that I found my tools. I found my woodworking tools today at this very moment. 10 till 8 on February the 4th. I found I can do my carving on my erasers now. So I will have to email her after a while to tell her I found them. I just now found them. I've been looking for them for months. Anyway, this is another tool that I use to make holes with in your clay. And I bought this specialty just for holes for clay. And I've got a smaller one. And this is a spoon, a wooden spoon. And I use it in my clay for as a tool, woodworking tool. So anyway, I have carved this starfish out of my clay. And all I have to do is peel it out now. And one of the things that you have to do after um, whenever you work with hand building clay, you have to finish the edges. And if the edges are real sharp like this, it's all according to what you want. If you want these sharp edges, then you can leave them. And if you don't want the sharp edges, then you're going to work the clay until it's smooth enough the way you want it. I know from experience that I like for my clay edges to be smoother, and I don't want all of these little shards on it. So I always rub them off. Okay. Now, when this becomes leather bone dry or leather hard, you can sand on this piece of clay with other tools, and you can actually use sandpaper on this clay. If something is too sharp and you don't like it that sharp, before you bake it, you can sand it. Use a little piece of sandpaper on it to sand the edges down. While the clay is wet, you can use a wet finger and a little bit of water to smooth the edges down as well. But that's just another tips and tricks. Lots of tips and tricks to do with your clay. And and it's just from experience and from watching videos that I've learned all of this stuff. So I knocked off all those little Sharpies, and there's my starfish. And I've got a pretty design on the front of it. So this is ready to go in the box. And then I'm going to make a hole in it to decide whether I want 2 holes like this and to hang it off of the 2 holes, or 1 hole to hang it by 1. And I'm going to put 2 in it. It's just a preference. So anyway, I've kind of got my edges all smoothed down a little bit while I'm at it, because I know that's what I like. You can see on this piece that, it was sharp, and it baked sharp right there, that little spur right there. And it's okay. It's no big deal, you know, but you can decide on how much detail you want to put on your pieces. Yeah, it's like dough. I don't know about salt clay. Well, great. Okay, I'm glad. Okay. Yeah, this is pottery clay though. I'm going to make some clay. We're going to make some clay beads out of this leftover stuff. I was just explaining on this one piece how I was cutting them out with the cookie cutter. I cut this one out by hand, how I'm doing the edges, and how I want to hang my ornament. So we're going to get into some clay beads here in just a minute. Hang on. There's more to come. So I can decide which way I want my star to be. And I kind of like it from here, this point of view. So I'm going to put a hole here and a hole here. And then this will be hung up that way. with some string by these two. It'll hang up this away. And this will be pretty in some beach colors, saying either sand tones or maybe some coral tones or a light yellow would be pretty. So this is going in the box to dry. Let's see what else I can explain. Yeah, I don't know about salt dough. Salt dough to me is soft, and it's also if it would get wet, the salt dough would dissolve and become soft and break. So this is nothing compared to salt dough. Salt dough. We're not doing salt dough. This is earth and clay, clay from the ground, and this type of clay can be dried, but it's fragile when it's dry. It's Have you ever seen cracked clay in the ground when you go for a walk and you see and the clay dries out and it cracks in the unusual. We've seen pictures of it maybe from the desert where the clay cracks. It's brittle, it's soft. There's no way that you can make an ornament out of it that it would last. Okay, but this after you fire it two different times in the pot in the oven, it becomes a piece of glass, and it becomes ceramic. It becomes hard. Um, I can show you. I have to go out in the garage and get it, but I can show you some uh, bone dry clay, and I can show you some bisque clay that's been fired one time. But I have to run out to the garage and get it. So if y'all wait on me, I'll go get it. There's Joe. Hi, Joe.
You want me to go get it for you?
I don't think you know what I want.
You want regular clay in the can in the
No,
plastic?
no, I've got that.
Well, here, I'll talk to him.
Yeah, Joe's gonna talk to you and tell you what he's been doing. He's been cutting the grass. So I was showing him some of my ornaments,
Uh-huh.
and I'll be back. It won't take me but 3 minutes.
Okay. Be careful.
I will.
Hi, ladies. How you all tonight? Yeah. Hello. Hi, Cheryl. Good to see y'all in there. She's been wearing me out about this. She wants me to get this ready so she can show y'all what's going on. I think she likes to do the clay and doing that stuff more than she does needle and painting. Hi, Sharon. I don't have my glasses on right now. I wish I did. I can still see a little bit. But yeah, I've been out there cleaning up the garage, trying to get her a couple garbage cans and a couple things that so she'll be able to throw all her stuff in when she starts working on it. And um, I'm not sure whether she got the camera on up and running or not. I know we were having some issues with it, trying to switch it over from this this camera here to that camera in there. She says she knows what she's got to do, but and she's getting a little better. Of course, uh, things she'll get better and better. Her voice, I've got a little bit of it now. I shouldn't have been out there all the way after dark cutting grass. Hi, Joan. How are you doing? So, yeah. So she's going to bring that back in here in a few minutes here. She's she's got a. It's not that far, but she's got to walk all the way around the house to get out there. So I don't know. She looks like she's been showing you some of the stuff she's done. I mean, she's got a ton of it over here. This is one of the best items that I think she's ever made, and because it's just not to be real, it's got more cuts and things in it to just like a real one design wise. It'd be really hard to not. And she does both sides of them. I mean, people really like this one here. This is a favorite. They always ask for this when she's tells them to pick an ornament out. And of course, I know she's done. She's been into the wool, and she had a bunch of wool stuff here too. I mean, I don't know what she showed you here, but there's old Elsie the cow. Mm, yeah, it's got now. This one here is a little different. It's got a rod iron in it. Piece of this is a high tensive steel rod um, wire that she uses to go through the hose and things, and she leaves that in while she does some of them because those little beads. I know the little beads. She runs those wires through there, and then they come out, and those wires they don't. They're really strong. I know that they're high temperature wires, and this is her horse with the designs. Of course, she showed you that probably. Yeah, and then her bell. I see that. Did you find it?
I did.
Okay. Well, ladies, it's good talking to you. Y'all's awful quiet, but
Did they chat with you?
yeah.
Okay. How's
A
Florida?
couple girls come in.
Florida's good. 74 today.
No rain.
No rain. Nice and clear. Yeah, there's different colors of clay, and you treat each type of clay has a recipe to go with it as far as how much to bake it. And they all have different temperatures and things like that. To they told Cheryl told you to gargle with salt water. He does, and mouthwash. He's always gargling.
Yeah.
Joan says, "I feel like Elsa." She's the one on the Frozen that's cold.
Oh.
Moo moo. You're a great husband, Joe. Thank you, Sharon. I think
Thanks.
so too. I love him. Oh no. Where are you at, Malaya? 3 inches of rain over the next few days.
Wow. Somebody else was getting that rain. Oh, I think Joyce up in
Up in
Kentucky.
Kentucky?
Where's she at?
She hadn't told me yet.
Oh, because Joyce said it's going to rain. It was raining. She called me again, and she said it's raining now, and it's going to rain the next 3 days. So,
North Carolina. Okay,
okay,
sweetie.
yeah.
I can't remember where everybody's from. It's impossible to memorize that many. But anyway,
I didn't have glasses
this
on. I couldn't
is
hardly see it.
this is raw clay. It hasn't been all it's been done has been kneaded and rolled out flat to work with it, okay, to make something. This is raw clay. After the clay dries, it becomes bone dry. It sounds like you're pecking on a little rock. After you bake it the first time, it becomes bisque, and you can hear a chatter there. Then when you bake it after the second time you bake it and you've painted it, it becomes ceramic, and it has a ring to it. It has a ring to it. This has a dull glass. It's a dull sounding, and you will learn this. You would learn this if you did this all the time. So there are the three stages, And then this one here is leather hard. There's no ring. It sounds like you're hitting a rock. It sounds like a little woodpecker. This is a little louder. And then this one's a bell, a ring. It sounds like a piece of glass, like in the kitchen, right? It sounds different. This one here, it's not as loud as high as this other. This is bisque. This has been painted a yellow, and it's ready to go in for a second firing. This has been painted, and it looks like a pink, but it's clear. It's pink in disguise, so that you know where you've painted what you've painted clear. And the reason why it's painted clear is it'll give it a shine. It'll be a shiny color versus a dull color. I don't know if you can tell the difference, but it's got a clear coat on it where this one does not. This one is leather hard, ready to be baked for the first time. And then it will become a bisque. But this has already been fired twice. So let's see what this sounds like. Like a piece of glass in the kitchen. It needs one more firing. And then this one is dull. This one is dull. This is leather hard. These are bisque. And then this one is ceramic. So that's just an example, of the different stages that the clay goes through. And I wanted to show you, here's some more of the warpage I was talking about. It's a little dog bone. And I've got 2 holes in it. So this will be cute. This is painted with the glaze, and it's ready to go in the oven for the second time. And this will be cute. Put a Sharpie and put somebody's dog's name on it, like Abby or something, and it'll be a cute ornament. Whoop. Now this is what happens with leather hard. That's okay, it won't hurt anything. This is leather hard clay, and it's fragile. This is what the salt clay would do. It would crack over time. This is leather hard clay, and it's very, very fragile. And see, that fell, and the weight of this one piece, it broke the piece underneath it too, because it's only leather hard too. And I'm just going to show you. You see how fragile it is? It'll break like a cookie. It'll break. It has not been baked yet. It's called leather hard because all of the water has been dehydrated out of it. It's been sitting around. Now, the good thing about leather hard clay, this is not wasted. This can be revived by putting it in a special tub of water with a little bit of water in it, and I can make this soupy and soft again and turn it into the clay that we have here on the table. So not all is lost. Now the bisque won't break as easy. This is bisque. This is bisque. And I painted the snowman on it. And then this is bisque. It's ready. It's already painted, ready for the second firing. This is bone dry. Now this discoloration, I don't know, it had to do with the drying, and it's been out there all summer. But here's another one. And the discoloration won't hurt anything. I'm not sure what that is. It might be a little bit of mold, but it will burn off. This is a leaf, a fall leaf. So it's ready to go in the oven. But this rest of it here these are ornaments and key fobs and things that are to go in the oven for the first time to become bisque. So these haven't been fired yet. And the littler ones are more stable than the bigger ones were. But the bigger ones will not go to waste. I will. I have a special. I have a bucket, a reusable bucket up there of used clay. That's one thing about clay. There's nothing to be wasted about it. You can refurbish that clay by putting it in some water. Now there's two different kinds of clay here. There's a white clay, and then there's a buff a little brown clay. And this is a different type of clay, and I've got names for them out in the garage. And but it's a soft clay, and it's just you've got a variety of clays to work with, the same way you have a variety of flour to work with when you cook. You've got white flour, you got whole wheat flour, and et cetera, et cetera. Same thing with clay. You've got different types of clay, and you to bake with, to work with. And if you wanted to, you could make an all-purpose clay and blend these two together in the bucket, or you can have two different buckets with the white clay in it and then the tan clay in another bucket, and you can recycle it any way you want to in that aspect. But anyway, those are the different stages of clays.
So I'm going to ask her a question, ladies.
Joe wants to know.
What would you use red Georgia clay for?
Well, that's like a terracotta clay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very good for flower pots and outdoor things. And I've got some dark clay, terracotta clay, and I will be using some of it in some of my work here in the next month or so. So we'll be seeing some different colors of clay. I'm going to get all of them out so that you can see all different shades of clay. But there's lots and lots of different types of clay. It's just like there's different recipes. And each of the clays, they have recipes too. Some of them are required to have, it's a low firing temperature clay, which means you don't have to go up to 126 degrees to it. And but that's getting into the baking part of it, and I'm going to have to explain that at another time. I won't be able to do that tonight, but I will be explaining to you about the different temperatures. But what I use is low firing, low temperature clay, and the same thing with glazes. My glazes match my clay. If you use a higher firing clay, a higher firing firing type of clay, you have to use a higher firing type of glaze to put on it, the collar. You can It's not universal. You don't mix and match. You don't put the high glaze on the low firing because it won't get hot enough to melt to turn it into a ceramic, to turn it into a dish. And that's just a basic overall definition of that. But anyway, what I wanted to show you tonight was basic hand buildings, and this was the cookie cutter stage. And so the next time I will show you how to make a mug out of this type of clay. We'll do a mug, and I'll show you how to put it together and how to seal it so that it doesn't leak and that it would actually hold a cup of coffee. And we'll do that on Thursday. That'll be my goal for Thursday. So all I really wanted to show you was the different types of clays and how you can make these ornaments that I have made. And that's basically all there is. So all of the clay that I have left over, it will not go to waste. This clay will be uh, molded up, folded up again, and refurbished again by moisture and by uh, kneading. They call it kneading the clay. And there's a way to knead clay. There's a way to do it, and I can teach you how to do that as well. But I'm not going to do it tonight because it's already 8:15, and I want to do a doggy tag. So, how can you keep straight on first firing and the second firing? Through experience, Cheryl. I can keep it straight because I know the difference between the bisque and the ceramic. For example, I'll explain it maybe one more time, real quick. This is a cooked piece of ceramic ornament that I made. It's been through two firings. Number one, it's got a glaze on it. An easier way to tell is that it has color on it and it's been fired and it's shiny. If it hasn't been fired, it has no color on it at all, and it will look like the natural clay. If it hasn't been fired, it's going to look like a clay. If it's already been fired one time, you're going to hear you're going to hear the difference between this noise and then this noise. There's no ring. There's no ring to it. So I can tell the difference because I've done it for so much. And at first, I put everything in my trays, in those little food trays, and I wrote on the box what it is. That way you would not get confused. And I had three different shelves. I had I had clay to be well, actually there was four shelves. I had clay that was wet, and then I had clay that was bone dry and ready to go into the first firing, ready to be bisque. And then I had a shelf that things have been baked one time and it was become bisque, already bisque. This is bisque. And then I had another shelf of bisque painted like this. It's been painted. And then the last one is when it's ceramic like this and it didn't get put back on the shelf. I took this into the house. And then I get to take it to my art room and I get to embellish some of my pieces, which is one of my favorite things to do, is to decorate my my pieces either with beads. I've got some with beads. I like to put beads on them, like this here. This little horse, I put a jute tail on him with jute, and I just tied knots in it, made him a horse tail. You can do anything you want. And then I took some gardening wire and I wrapped it around through the holes that I made. And then I added a bead. And these are my pottery beads that I've made. And I've showed you my pottery beads. So, and then I like to do that. And this one here, I did just some string around it, some heavy string. This is carpet string. And but my favorite thing is to do the string and the beads. So these are ceramic because they're already shiny and painted and finished. And they come out of the garage. They don't have to live in the garage anymore. They are cute and they're fun to do. Very, very fun. So anyway, I think that's all I'm going to do with the clay tonight. I still have a bucket of clay here ready. And what I do is I have some water in the bottom of my bowl. Yep, he's still down there. I poured a little bit of water in the bottom of the bowl to keep it nice and moist. And you can see this is dried out compared to this piece because I've used it, had it on the table all night. But it won't go bad. I'm going to put it back in here in the side and it'll get moistened back up and I can reuse that. So if you keep a lid on this, it'll stay nice and moist. And that's how I store my clay that I've opened uh, out of the bags. um, I store my. I'm going to put this back in there too because there's nothing wrong with this. Uh, so that's how you tell the difference between the first firing and the second firing. It's kind of confusing because you have to pick up a piece of pottery, I think 6 to 8 times before it's finished, before it's actually finished. And it, it, it's that's what makes it so unique of an art. That's why it is called an art of its own. It's because you have to knead the clay first. I'm gonna make a list because that's really basically what has happened. Is that might help you guys keep the difference between what's the difference between each thing. So you've got the raw clay that you buy, or it's been harvested for you from the ground. But you got the raw clay. Okay, then you roll the raw. You knead it. You knead the clay, and then you roll it out, or you throw a pot. You make something out of the clay. Then you have to take the made item and let it dry to become bone dry. Depending on how large or small it is, depends on how long of a time you need. A pot, a regular size cereal bowl, would be about 2 weeks. And it's important that you let it dry that long, because if it's not completely dry, it'll make a combustion inside the oven. It won't hurt the oven, but it'll break the bowl. Bye, Elizabeth. Thanks for coming, honey. Hope you come back. We're going to all the whole month of February. We're going to do pottery, and then we're going to get into other things later. But we do all kinds of mixed media in here. So anyway, after you let it dry, uh, you bake. Then you have to so you handle it when it's raw. You knead it, and you make the item, and then you have to put it on the shelf to dry, and then you have to put it in the oven. Uh, for the first firing, and then you have to take it out. This is bisque. Then you have to take it out of the oven, and then you have to glaze it or paint. And it's a special glazing, special paint for heat. And you're painting the clay with this special glaze, and it's actually glass. It's paint made out of ground up glass. And when it melts then you have to put it back in after you paint it for the second firing. And then it becomes ceramic. Then it becomes ceramic, and then you have to take out the final time. So this is how many times you have to handle each piece that you put into the oven. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's not including when you're letting it dry. Sometimes you want to go over your piece and sand and check it, um, and check for any imperfections that you might want to do on your piece. You use little sanding tools and little files and things on your piece, because when it's leather dry, you can sand a piece without any problem and make an edge smaller. And it's like filing uh, your fingernail, except it's softer. So you can file your piece, if you want to do that. So that's another two-piece. So you're picking it up and putting it back down. That's another stage that I did not even include. So when you do a piece of pottery, regardless of how big or how small, you're picking it up at least 10 times before it's finished. And then when people uh, look at a piece of homemade pottery, something that's homemade, and they say, "Oh, that's all so expensive." But how many times did I pick it up and put it back down to make that little piece, to make this little cow? I had to knead the clay. I had to roll it out. I used a cookie cutter on it. I used the design pattern on it. I had to let it dry. I had to check the edges for softness if I wanted if I wanted to. And then I had to put it back down, and then I had to pick each piece up to put it in the oven one by one, and then I had to bake it, and then I had to take it back out of the oven to paint it. And I put the black on it, and this being a buff pink, a buff type of clay, I didn't have to use white. I just used black only. And then I put a clear coat on it, which is an extra stage of glazing. And then you have to mark it. You have to put your signature on it. If you want to do that, that's another step. All those pieces that I put in the box over here earlier, I'd have to flip them over onto the back and mark them with my little marking tool, which is a B, or put my initials on it, or somehow. Each potter is supposed to mark your art. It's a tradition thing to do. But anyway, I didn't even include, marking them, you know. So that's another step, So we've got the let dry, and then we can put in here parentheses. After we roll it and throw it, we have to mark it with my ID. So that's another thing to add. So that's why I'm saying it's not hard. It's not really complicated after you do it a few times like I have. And I've been doing this a few years, and I haven't touched it for over a year. I bet you it's been 2 years since I've touched it. And all of this comes back to me from memory. But these are the reasons why handmade pottery items are expensive. This is the reason why right here. You know, it's just an ornament, but it's handmade. It's handheld. And then after you decorate it, see that's another step. See, there's another decorations. There's another step. If it takes decorations, if it's a bell, well, I have to put the string in it, and then I have to make the key fob as another piece. And I've got a little bell, another little bead in here, so that when it rings, it makes the chime. Um, the key fob is for the looks. I like the looks of the key fob hanging underneath the bell, and that's for when the wind blows the key fob. The little bead will hit the sides and make the bell ring. So that's how that works. And then I went to another stage, and I braided this yarn to pink and white. It's braided. It's got a 3 try braid on it. I braided the yarn. I even went another step to the decorations. So uh, you put as much love into them, as you want. Not everything requires this much, but this one just required some um, embroidery floss, and I just tied a knot in each one. But I had to get it in the holes, and do the tying, and make sure it hangs straight, and whatever I need to do. But but you can spend as much time or as little time as you want with some of these things. And see, like this, I just used one of the existing holes and put some twine on it, and there's the sand dollar. But it looks so real. I love them. So, but it's a lot of fun. It is a job and it is a craft. And here's something I didn't get to show y'all. I did these. These are my soap dishes that I made. And all it is a square or a rectangle out of the rolled clay that I did. And I embossed both sides of the clay. And then I laid the clay down and I cut a square with the with the cutting tool. I just cut a square, and then I kind of uh, tweaked the corners up like this by hand and rolled the sides up and let it dry. And you can see this is a terracotta clay because it's an orangey looking clay. It's chipped right there. Didn't get enough glaze on the corners, and of these two corners here, I didn't get enough glaze on there, and it kind of chipped off or something. And again, I'm a beginner, so this was probably one of my first ones that I made, and I practiced on it. But I literally had to squeeze the corners up and roll the sides up by hand, and to make that flat, I worked at it by hand. And here's another piece where the glazes have chipped off, and you can see the orangey clay underneath. That's a terracotta clay. So there's my soap dish, and I made a bunch of these the first year that I made them, and everybody in my family got a soap dish for Christmas. so uh, so anyway, that's all I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go right on into a doggy tag. Y'all ready for a doggy tag? We got a lot done. And I've got a lot of cookie cutters. I will tell you. I sure do. And these are all my little ones. And I got another big bag for the big ones. These are my big ones. This is one of those comforter bags that comforter came in for the bed, a bed comforter. And then it had a little tiny zipper on top. And I always take and put my littlest cookie cutters in up here because they're small. It's a small place. That way I don't have to go digging for the small ones because I kind of use the small cookie cutters more so than the bigger ones. And of course, these are seasonal. That's Christmas. But I take and I put my small ones in this pillowcase section. And that's how I store my cookie cutters. And I've got a collection of it. And it took me, 5 years to collect them all. So it's nothing new. This is not just a quickie art project. This is an artist, a special artist. And see, I got them in the cake department, the bakery department, and the polymer clay department. Some of these were for bakery and that kind of stuff. And then next time, Thursday, I will show you how to make a mug. We're going to make a coffee mug. And I will also show you how you can embellish with other items in your house. So this is like a little charm. and I use it for decorating. So we will get into that Thursday. We're going to do a mug and other marking tools. So I got all my little cookie cutters on top. On top. And this has just been a really cool tool to use. And I thinned them out to boot. I got rid of the doubles. I had a lot of doubles, and I had a lot of ones that I didn't use and or couldn't use. There were different kinds or something about it. So there's some of that. So I'm just gonna move my mat to the side. And we will continue this Thursday. So I'm going to make myself a note so I won't forget. Thursday, we're going to do a mug. We're going to hand build a mug. A mug. And I'm going to go over marking tools. We did a little bit today, but there's more. I've got more over here to show you. Yep, we're going to try to do a mug. Yep. And everything that I made tonight, we'll be eventually putting it in the oven to bake. And I figure maybe 2 or 3 weeks, by the end of the month, we'll have it in the oven. And as soon as we bake it the first time, we'll paint it, and then we'll bake it. We'll bake it the next time we get together. So by the end of the month, we'll go through. We're going to in the process of making a few things, and then by the end of the month, we'll turn the oven on and actually bake it. So, sounds like a plan. I think I'm doing okay. And I really wanted to get out there and throw a pot today, but my clay it's been sitting too long, and I need to soften a bunch of it up. And I just softened up a little bit tonight for tonight's, but I will work on that. Maybe by Saturday we'll be actually in the garage on the wheel. That'd be a good goal. My cold has really set me back a few days. so so because I wanted to start this, a couple times ago. So that's that story. So, what shall we do tonight? I think we're on D. We're on D for Dutch Hound. And here's our Dutch Hound. A wiener dog. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's on. My autofocus is always on. I don't mess with my autofocus. That's why it's called autofocus. It focuses it for you. Yeah. But here's our first one. There's Artie. He turned out to be good. There's Artie. And then we have Buddy. Here's Mr. Buddy. He's a basset hound, but he kind of looks like a wiener dog, doesn't he? The wiener dog's going to look like him, except shorter ears. And then we have Chi Chi. So now we're going to do D. So D is the name. The name begins with a D. Hi, Brody. How are you, honey? I don't know if you've ever been in here before, but I've seen you before in other places. How you doing? So let me get a tag out. We're going to do a dog tag. And I wanted to use that doily. Let's see. Hi, Sharon. I'm doing good, honey. I'm doing better. Okay. Great. Well, I'm glad you're here, honey. We're going to do a doggy tag, and you all get to pick out the name. Something that begins with a D. We're going to do a Dutch hound today. And I want to use this doily that Colleen sent me. And if it's a little name, as in letters, I might be able to use these for his name tag. Yeah, I've had a bout with a cold, but I think I'm better. I think I'm all better now. So I was thinking about putting this down, and I got to get in a piece of paper. I got that little bit of a cough clearing, but other than that, I'm really, at least I can stop coughing. I couldn't stop coughing the other day. Dachshund Dutch Hound. Is that what it is? Okay. Okay. There we go. That's what we're making. So you get to pick out a name that begins with a D. I usually try to draw him here. And I tell you, I might get it. Let's see here.
They pay more money? What's that, 20 something?
There's a good one of his face. That's a good one of the face. And then here's a good one of his body. So I'd kind of like to get the side view with his face, with this part of his face. And this one's cute too. That's cute. I think I'm going to use that one. I'm concentrating. They have this a frown for their mouth, and I have the hardest time doing the frown. I want to make it go up. I think it makes it look sad. It's a psychological thing. Dudley, Dutch Hound. I like Dudley. Colleen says Dixon. Dixon's cute. Dreyfus Dixon. Okay, Brody, honey. See you later, sweetie. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate you. Actually, this is not too bad at all, even with him sitting on his side. Can you hear Joe talking on the phone? Okay, Sharon, go to dinner. Thanks for coming in, honey. I'll see you soon. Dinner time. Let me go shut the door. They're talking on the phone. That's not too bad. Does that look like a Dutch hound? Huh? Come on, Abby. Come on. I swear. He can talk on the phone. He can talk on the phone all day long. He loves to talk on the phone. But that's okay. I don't mind. Let him talk. I don't talk on the phone. I talk more to you guys than I do to anybody. Okay, so I kind of like what I've done here. And I might improve on that just a little bit. They've got their feet together too close, I think. I'm going to separate them. Something like that. And something like that. And then, let's see, let me get his eyes. Nice big eyes. Oh, look at them eyes. Oh, my goodness. Big old eyes. Big old eyes. Big old eyes. Cutie. Did you all decide? Let's see. Oh, really? Dutch hounds? Well, it's just what they are, I guess. I think the Dutch hound is the group, and there might be more than one Dutch hound. Uh, there's the dachshund, and there's the long-haired dachshund. Uh, let's just go to Wikipedia and see if that'll help us with something. We want to go to Dutch hound, Dutch hound, Dutch hound puppies. It is also known as the wiener dog or the sausage dog. It is a short-legged, long-bodied hound type dog breed. They may be smooth or wired hair or long hair. There's three different kinds. Their origin is Germany. Uh, what's a Dachshund? A Dachshund is a Dutch hound. Yeah,
What are you doing?
I'm talking to the girls about dogs.
Oh, you still on?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I will. We're doing a dog tag right now.
Oh, that's right. I heard you remember.
So I don't know what the difference between the Dutch hound and the dog Dachshund, although it's a Dutch hound group.
That sounds very good.
Might be interchangeable. I'm not sure. So that's all I know. You'll have to tell me more. What, baby?
That's a Dotson. That's a Dutch hound right there.
I know.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Dotson's closer to the ground.
What's a
Longer.
Dutch hound?
Well, they're a bigger dog.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, Sharon. Okay, well that's great, honey. I'm glad you stopped in for a little while. That's fine. Dudley. Dudley sounds good. No problem, Sharon. Everybody's got to go do something. But anyway, I think this is the picture I'm going to use. This puppy one here. So and that's it. So, well, you guys, um, you all can vote. We've got Dudley, Dixon, Dixie. Are the three choices that I see. Dudley, Dreyfus, Dixon, Dud, Dudley, Dixon, or then Mary said Dixie. Is he going to be a boy or girl? Whatever you guys want. So you all choose. Dudley, Dixon, or Dixie. So you all chose whatever y'all want. Go, go. Give you a few minutes to do that. but I think that's where it's going to be. So now, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I got my glue. Can you believe it? I haven't even coughed tonight. It's a miracle, I'm telling you. It's amazing what good medicine will do. It is. It's amazing. I'm just going to glue this dolly down. See how we can do that. There we go. There we go. The doctor ordered me some um, prescription cough syrup with codeine, and it relaxes my cough. And then I take another little pill that goes with 3 times a day that is also a cough suppressant. And the first thing I did, uh, I got my medicine by noon, by 12 o'clock yesterday. And the first dose that I had, I slept for about 6 hours. We got up and had a little sandwich, had Joe fixed me grilled cheese and chicken noodle soup. And by midnight, I took a second dose of my medicine, cough syrup, and I slept until 7:30 in the morning. So, can you say, was I sleep deprived? Yes, because I literally slept all day yesterday from noon until till 7:30 this morning and back to bed. And I can't I got up this morning and I haven't stopped. Literally have not stopped. I have felt so good. And I did have to take another dose of my medicine about 1 o'clock, and then because it's every 6 hours I can have it, and then at 7 o'clock I took a half of a dose before I did my show, just in case, so I wouldn't start coughing. And then I'll take my other half of my dose at bedtime. So all I can say is, I'm not uh, in favor of drugs, but if you need them, if you need them, you need them. And and I get this bronchial stuff every year, usually once a year, once every other year. I get it. And this time when I got sick, I got real lucky, and it was upper respiratory only. It did not get into the base of my lungs, and I did not have any infection. I did have a sore throat. I'm sure my throat was infected, but I gargled and I brushed my teeth a lot, and I did salt inhalations so that the salt actually works as a disinfectant when you breathe it into your lungs. So the salt helps from it settling down into your bottom of your lungs. So the salt, just breathing hot steam with a towel over my head, hot steam. Uh, I believe that is a good treatment. and fortunately, uh, to my benefit, I did not have any sinus drainage. I did not have a sinus head cold. So the infection did not go into my sinuses, which gave me luck, and it didn't get in the base of my lungs, which is my second luck. So that's why I recovered from this so quickly. So I am thrilled to uh, to be so lucky. But once my doctor got me in the office, she saw where I'd had this before, and she said, "Well, this is not. You don't need an antibiotic." I said, "No, I don't think I need an antibiotic uh, at all." She said, "But you do need something to help you control that cough." And she says, "This is what you need," and it's the same stuff that she had me on the last time. Well, last year I got this uh, same kind of cold stuff, and I had leftover cough syrup from the previous year. So I didn't have to go to her last year. But the year before last, I did, and it was on my record. And I said, "Well, the reason why I didn't come in last year is because I just used what I had." And she goes, "Okay, I got you. I got you." So the pharmacist gave me my cough syrup, and she says, "Now, when you're finished with your cough syrup," she says, "here's a little gel packet that you put in the rest of your cough syrup, and it turns it all to gel. That way, nobody can reuse your old medicine." And in my mind, I was going, "Yeah, like I'm going to throw this stuff away. No way, Jose. I'm not throwing this stuff away. This is like gold." So yeah, I doubt if I'll use it the whole prescription subscription of it. I doubt it very, very, very much because I'm already feeling so much better after second day. Yeah. So anyway, I see Dudley, 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 Dudley. So Dudley seems to be the winner for the name. And if I can, I'm going to try to put these on the bottom of Dudley because I think I've got two. So thank you, Colleen. Colleen, I'm putting these on. Woo-hoo! How cute are these little puppy stickers? Letters. They're on little puppy backs. So there's Dudley. Um, do I want to frame? I might want to frame. I'm going to save this little piece for later. I got some more things in here. Let's see what else we can find that she sent. It's February. Do we want to put a red heart on Dudley's thing? We've got that. And we've got, what was that other little thing I saw? Oh, what was another little doggy? I don't know if I need that or not. But if I put this red thing on here, I've got I got something. I got something. There's a decoration. It's red. Looky, 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 looky. There's something else in here. I just know it. I just know it. Little Dudley. Little Dudley. I think I want to do something red. I've got some red paper here. That would be cute. That would be cute. I've got a piece of red paper. I just had it in my hands. So if I use one of these, I'm scheming. Thank you, Colleen. That's a good thing, right? To make you smile. Let's see. I think these look like little antlers and eyes, like a little ladybug or something. But anyway, I'm going to use one of these, and I'm going to put it on in a few minutes. But first, I'm going to get my decorative scissors out. Oh, I got something better than that. Let's see what else I got. That's a little bit better. Oh, that's even better. Let's use those. Decorative scissors and some red paper. And my scheme. In my scheme, I'm going to put his name on this. That's going to be his name. And then another little piece for that. Another little square. And this was a little bit bigger. A little bit bigger. A little bit bigger, like that. And then I'm going to have his name right here. See if I can get it on there now. D U D. Oh, I can alternate them. Woohoo! Let's see. D U D. No. L E Y. L E. I can alter L and but that one and L. And see, I have the other L. So now I can't alternate all of them. No, they stick really good. They stick too good. I might have to re-glue them down. But that's all right. I can do it. They're sticking to all of them. Plan B is in effect, but all is not lost. But they do peel the paper. They do stick to the paper. I'll have to use some glue now. I have to flip it over. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down because I know it's what we're going to use. I'm talking to myself. I'm talking it through. It's going to work. So this is going to be his nameplate. Get some good glue on there. We got to hug the nameplate. There's the D. There's the U. L E Y. Okay, did I do it right? Dudley. Spell check. You guys can be my spell check. And this is just a decoration that's going to go behind the dog. I haven't cut the dog out yet. And then I'm going to do another one, a heart somewhere, like up in here or somewhere, maybe over here. This is just a background decoration behind the dog. And I'll put this on in a minute. So let's get our doggy out. See what we're going to cut him out with. That's good. Okay. Hang in there. Hang on. Doing good. This is our background. So let's do our doggy and see if we could put a ribbon tassel on there too. I've got pretty ribbon here. I see I've got some yarn. There's some yarn down in there. That looks good. I'm working backwards tonight. I'm doing everything else before the dog. But there's some red tassel. It's yarn. It's like Christmas yarn. But I like it. We got a theme going on here. Some kind of a theme. It's a Valentine, Dudley. He's a Valentine puppy. He's going to steal your heart away. You just wait. He'll steal all of y'all's heart away. You see. I'll have to train that yarn to go out that way. This is tassel. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry while I do his body. Let's cut him out. See what we're gonna use. Browns. Do we want brown? Let's get a paper out. Let's get some paper out. I got plenty of scrapbook paper. So maybe we'll find something that we haven't used before. Maybe. Dudley. Dudley, Dudley, Dudley. We could do him something in this. This is a coffee paper. I hope I'm keeping you interested in this. I still have 18 of you. Somebody just left. Sorry. But, everybody's got to go to dinner and do things in the evenings. That's okay. I think I'm going to put them in this coffee. In this coffee swirl. That's what we'll do. This will be different. But it's definitely doable. Definitely doable. So what I'm going to do there is I sort of trimmed them out a little bit. So I'm just going to cut this off. And save this for another day. And then I'm going to try to fussy cut them out. That's what I'll do, is fussy cut. That's how we do it. Little cute dog. Dudley. That'll work. And then after I cut him out, all I have to do is sort of go over with a black marker his markings and highlight them to give him his features back. That's what I'll do. Now I'll have to make him a tail. I'll have to make him a special little tail. And there's our little Dudley. I think he's going to be cute. Save this for his tail. Let's see. He's got a little pointy tail. That'll be his tail right there. Okay, how we doing, guys? Is he going to be our Valentine pup? Yes, he is. He's going to be sitting right there. Couldn't have made him any taller. Perfect. Perfect. I'm going to highlight him, outline him in black before I glue him down. And he does have a little tail. So when he's outlined in black, he's going to look so much better sitting on this paper. You'll see. Mm-hmm. Let me do that. Get rid of this. And then he'll have to have some kind of a collar on, won't he? He will. He'll have to have a collar. I'm still going to hang on to this. Now, if I hold my mouth right, I'll do this just right. I have to concentrate when I go to outlining like this, because I hate it when I make a big line off the wrong way. I just hate it when that happens. So if I hold my mouth right and concentrate, might not mess up. So far, so good. So far. Okay. Big old teardrop eyes. And a nose. And a mouth. And little nose bridge there. Some highlights. And his legs sort of goes out like this. Like this. And little toenails. There he is. I think that's it. Okay. Let me get his tail. Got to do his tail. Okay, there's his tail. And there he is. I'm happy with that. Am I wheezing a little bit? Well, I've been talking a lot. I feel like my voice is got a little bit of laryngitis. I think I have been talking a lot. But I feel okay, and that's the main thing. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to glue him down just like that. And I was thinking of maybe a little red collar. And I don't know, I'm thinking maybe just embroidery thread, something small, since there's so much red on the page. Dudley. Oh, Dudley, you're so cute. Little Dudley. Oh, okay. That gives me an idea. A bell or a heart. A bell or a heart. Hmm. Since we've been talking about pottery and everything, hmm, how about a pottery heart? It's not red. Oh, yes, there is a red one there. How about that guy? Will that work? Will that work for his heart? Since he's a Valentine puppy? I didn't get my other Valentine on there yet either. I don't know if I'm going to have room for it somewhere. I wanted to put this on there, but there's really no room. But but there's room enough for this guy. Is it perfect or is it perfect? And I can put this on because it's such a small hole. I can do it with thread. It's definitely too small for yarn and all that jazz, but I might be able to do something with some thread. Yeah, that's what we'll do. And I'm going to do one of uh, my glue on the end of this thread trick. You put some glue on the end of your threads because there's like several there. It's embroidery thread, and then you twist the glue, and it will become dry. And like right now, it's already dry. But I twisted it to a point, okay, and it's still, believe it or not, it's still got a dullness to it. But if you take your scissors and you cut at a diagonal on the end of the glue where the glue is on the thing, you will create a pointy point now that's been glued, right? It's got a little bit of glue on it and it makes it like a little needle. And then you're able to go through a small hole or an embroidery needle like that and done. And you're done. Ta-da! There's your tip of the day, guys. How to thread something really small. You put glue on the tip of your thread and twist it. Now I'm going to take this and I think I'll tie a knot in it so that it'll hang proper on his little neck. I'm going to tie that knot as close to the heart as I can so that it'll hang on one side or the other. Then I'm going to take each side of the thread I'm going to get my embroidery needle and I say embroidery needle because it's a little bit bigger than a regular needle. And I'm going to make a hole on each side of his neck. below his chin. And I'm going through 3 pieces of paper because it's this paper, cardstock, the doily, and then the back page is the back cardstock. And I'm going to go through this side right below the chin, and it's going through an extra pair of papers because I've got that red paper back there too. Punch another hole, and I've got my pointy still here, so it's going through the first hole. And then I'm going to take it and thread it back through the other hole to the front. To the front. And it went through. So there we have our heart hanging underneath Dudley's chin. Chinny chin chin. And I'm going to tie a little bow on the side. I'm going to tie a little bow on our sweet little Dudley. Up here on the side, and then let the heart hang. We want it to hang right. And then we want our little bow right there. So I'm just going to tie a knot so there won't be a mistake. So tie a bow. And then I'm going to tie another knot with the bows, so that my bow won't come undone accidentally later on. And if you hold your mouth right, which I'm obviously doing, I tied a knot with the bows. Now let's see if I can get it to hang right. Get the bow to hang right. Fiddle-faddle with it just a minute. And if I have to, I can put a drop of glue on it to get it to stay still so that it'll stay upright. If I have to. So then I'm going to trim my trimmings. Here's one, and there's the other. Here's the extras. So, there we go, guys. That's how you do it. Just put a little glue underneath the bow so that it'll be stationary. We know what we did to have to get there. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue behind the back of the heart so that its heart will kind of stay still too. It looks like a dog treat. Looks like a little doggy treat. Here it is. Dudley, he's a sweetheart. You want a bell too? Okay, let's see what I can do about the bell. A bell too. Hang on. It ain't over yet. It just so happens that I got a few bells. These are little tiny bells. They're really tiny, but they're bells. And believe it or not, there's a red one there. There is a red one. So we'll hang them on there. We'll get it on there. Somehow. Somehow we'll get it on there. There's a little place to put that little needle thing, thread needle that I made. And I'm just going to tie it on here somehow because there's room. There is room. I'm just going to tie a knot. Tie a little knot. Push it right down there. There it goes. There's his little bell. He's got a bell and a heart. Oh, everybody go, oh, all together, all together now. Let's see who's paying attention. Oh, he's cute. You see, I had absolutely no idea how I was going to make this dog look with all the features. And that coffee paper was perfect. All the swirls in it, gives it that little doggy look. And I think, let's see if I can't find a red magic marker. I think I can go around the edges of my card with a red marker. Frame them in a little bit. That's what I hate. You make a big old line in there unintentionally. I knew there was somebody paying attention. Thanks, guys. I couldn't do this without you guys. Wouldn't have anybody to please. Would be nobody to work for. I like working for you guys. No, that's too short. Okay. I think that's it. And something I haven't been doing is putting the date. 2/4/20. There's the back side. I think he's cute. Oop, not the black one, the red one. I forgot what I was doing. Okay, I think that'll do it, guys. He is. I think he's perfect. And we've got a pottery bead for our first pottery dog. How about that? Seriously. I'm going to glue that on there just because I like it. I think it kind of looks cute. Some Happy Mail. That's from Santa. That come all the way from Finland, Dudley. That's from where your ancestors are from close to Germany. She's right north of Germany. So she might run into some of your relatives, Dudley. I'm talking to the dog. That's pretty bad. Pretty bad. I'm talking to the dog. Okay, guys. I think that's it. I will. I'm going to. He is one of my favorites already. Yeah, I don't know. Those other ones were kind of cute. Let me show them to you real quick before we skedaddle. Put my little boxes back up. Put my fabric back up. Here they are. I don't guess there's anything on here. I think we got enough. We'll just save these for the next one. We got 26 of them to do, or 23 of them to do. No, we have 26. Yeah, we got 26 dogs to do. The napkins got 25, and I had to come up with one more, which was the underdog. So, yeah. So there's Artie. I don't know. Artie's awful cute. And there's Buddy. And Buddy was awful fun, too. This thing reminds me of a leash. It was that cowboy tie. Caldera, whatever. I think he called it a caldera. Joe did. He knew what it was. There's Buddy. And then here's Chi Chi. And here's Dudley. They're all cute. Okay, there's D. A, B, C, D, E. What's E? What is E, guys? English Bulldog is next. Oh, look, it's got an anchor on his sweater. And I think Sonic sent me an anchor. I think I saw an anchor. See, I'm getting already excited for the next dog. Gee willikers. She did. She sent me an anchor. On my card, maybe I could put that in there. But I thought I had another anchor. There's an airplane. swear I thought I saw one. Here's one. She did send me another anchor. So we're going to put this with the English bulldog since he's got an anchor on him. And there were some sailboats. I'll use the sailboats too. Uh-huh. Oh look, I got a ship's reel, a shipping wheel, a stern. What do you call those? What do you call those things that you navigate the boats with? Stern. There's another sailboat in here because I saw it. I counted them. Thank you, Sana. You sent me so many cute things. I'm getting to use them. I know it's in here. I guess I could pour them all out. There you go, Beth. Just pour them all out. Get down to it. There you. We'll find it. We'll find it. I love those little owls. And the buses were cute too. All right. Well, anyway, we got us a start for next week with a nautical theme. A nautical theme. There's a sailboat. Found it. I knew it was in there. So we'll definitely put these with the English Bulldog page and have a head start for next week. Woo woo! Good night, Cheryl. Listen, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. I know I've been on, but this will be for next week or the next Thursday. Thursday. So we'll definitely do that, and we'll do we're gonna hand build a mug. We're definitely gonna do that, and have some more fun Thursday. I like doing 2 or 3 things at a time that kind of breaks it up for the evening to have a couple little things. So sounds good, guys. We'll think of some good English names. Edward. It's a bulldog. Edward the bulldog. So thank you so much for coming in and hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys. Maybe we'll continue to do some Valentine things because it's not Valentine's yet. So you're welcome. I do feel good. I do feel better. And now that my cough is under control, I can rest and not be disturbed. Because I was coughing in my sleep. Yeah. So I'm better. I am so much better. It's amazing, amazing. So thank you guys for staying with me and hanging with me and goofing off with me. So we'll say goodnight to Dudley. He turned out really cute, and we'll be ready for next for Thursday. In the meantime, that's all I'm going to say. If you need anything, you can give me a message, and I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you all somewhere else in the chats tomorrow. I'm sure we'll be on somewhere. So good night, everybody. Good night. Thanks. See, I'll get a night night. I'm hanging up.